guest on Mr. James Fletcher, who is the founder of the Young Investor Society. This gentleman is making a huge impact. He has thousands of students, probably almost 10,000 students. He is in thousands of schools teaching people about success and money. And he's our guest in this section here. So James is the founder of the Young Investor Society, and he's going to be talking about the 7 golden rules of investing. So James, thank you so much for being with us, and go ahead and take it away.
Thank you. Well, this is one of our most popular lessons that we teach in Young Investor Society. And this is, as we're looking at a stock or as we're looking at investing, we have 7 golden rules that we've gleaned from some of the most successful investors in the world, and how to analyze a company or how to analyze a stock to invest or how to analyze an investment that you'll make. Let me start with a story. It's a story of a young man that grew up in Omaha, Nebraska. His name was Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett is a hero of ours. He's a great long-term investor. He's generated. He started with $10,000 in his investment partnership, and today Warren Buffett is worth over $100 billion. And all of that has been done through successful investing in good businesses, taking a long-term approach. But Warren Buffett learned his first principles when he was a young man. So when Warren Buffett was 14 years old, he had an idea, and he went to a local barber shop that was cutting hair, and he said, wouldn't it be great if they had something to do while they were waiting to get their hair cut? And Warren Buffett bought a used pinball machine for $25 and brought it to the barbershop and said, would you mind if I just put the pinball machine here and your guests can play this game while they wait, and I will split the profit with you, and I'll give half the profit to you and I'll keep half of it. And the manager of the barbershop said, sure. And so he put the pinball machine there, and in 2 months, Warren had received $25 in profit and had paid back the full cost of the pinball machine. Now, he could have just kept receiving that profit every quarter, or every month, but instead he turned around and invested that profit in more pinball machines. So Warren then bought 2 more pinball machines and went to 2 more barbershops in Omaha, Nebraska, and proposed to them the same idea. And they said, sure, put your pinball machine here. And in 2 years later, Warren Buffett had 125 pinball machines spread throughout Omaha, and he was just getting that income every month. And what Warren Buffett learned at an early age is to think differently, to continue to invest, and something Tom mentioned earlier is think outside the box and find ways of income streams. And so one of the ways that we can find income streams is we can buy stocks in great companies. So, rather than starting your own business, you can also just put money in Apple or Facebook or Jollibee if you're in Philippines, and then you earn a portion of those profits, just like those pinball machines, where you can receive those profits and grow those. And as that business grows over time, your wealth will grow as well. We have narrowed this down to 7 golden rules of investing. So let me take you through these. The first rule of investing is to think long term. So Warren Buffett says you should never invest in a stock if you wouldn't be happy if the stock market closed down for 10 years. And so you're not worried about selling it next year or next quarter, that you're taking a 10-year horizon to that business. Rule number 2, good companies make good investments, and ditto for bad companies. So if you're investing in a good company with ethically run management team and a good product that does good for the world and has a great brand, that will be a good long-term investment. If you're investing in a bad company, that is very likely to be a bad investment. So even though it may look cheap, even though profits are okay today, but you think they're going to decline in the future, 9 times out of 10 that will result in a bad investment. Rule number 3: don't follow the herd. So the herd, one of the keys to good investing is to think differently. So it's like Warren Buffett. He had this idea of pinball machines that others didn't have. Sometimes you'll find these gems of companies that others haven't seen, because sometimes the herd can take a herd and just walk right off a cliff. We saw it in the past week with Silicon Valley Bank, right? So there was a lot of people that had piled into a bank, and a lot of startups and venture capital funds that were using Silicon Valley Bank just because their friends were, but they hadn't done the work to see that this bank had a lot of frailties and a lot of problems with their deposit base and with their assets in the bank. So don't just blindly follow the herd, which leads to number 4, which is do your own homework. Don't invest in a stock just because I said so, or Tom said so, or CNBC said so, or your uncle had a great stock idea. Do your own homework and analyze the companies that you know, which leads to rule number 5. Rule number 5 is invest in what you know. So Peter Lynch is a legendary investor. He's the investor from Fidelity's Magellan Fund, and he talks about going around and buying businesses of brands that he shops at, or food that he uses, or brands that he knows, or services that he pays for. One of his famous examples are his wife came home one day and just said, these leggings, these stockings are called legs. And she said, they are just so much better than any other stockings that I find at department stores, and they sell them at grocery stores. And he said, what makes them good? And she said, they're just easy to put on. They're half the price of others. They're convenient to buy. And at the time, it was owned by a company called Hanes, which made clothing. And so, Peter Lynch, did some more research and found out that a lot of women were buying these legs products. And then he bought the stock in Hanes, and Hanes ended up going up more than 50x for him. So more than 50 times his money, all because his wife came home with an idea and said, hey, this is a great product that not many people know about. So invest in what you know is rule number 5. Rule number 6 is always keep learning. Is never stop learning. The fun thing about investing is that companies are always changing. The world is always changing. There's always something new going on politically or economically. So always keep learning about new business models, how the economy is doing. And it's my job is so fun because my day is different every day. I wake up, the markets are different, companies are doing things, and it's great. So it's important to stay humble and always keep learning. Rule number 7, you've heard the phrase, don't put all your eggs in one basket. So it's important to be diversified across your portfolio. Have a portfolio of good investments, good companies you know, companies you believe in, and but don't put all your eggs in one basket. So generally, my stock portfolio, we don't own any stock in my portfolio more than 5% of the total portfolio value. So you're owning 20 to 30 stocks in the portfolio, and not one stock, if you make a mistake, will sink the portfolio. So, and that applies to, your overall investments in terms of real estate and stock market investing and savings accounts. It's important to stay diversified, and don't put all your eggs in one basket. And then as a bonus, the 8th rule, which we give as the bonus rule, is once you make money in the stock market and once you're financially independent, like Tom has shown us as an example, is to find ways to give back. The bonus rule is to find ways to give back and have an impact in the world, because the reality of the markets, it's a powerful wealth creation machine. If you start investing 1 peso or $1 per day and invest it at 10% per year, by the time you retire, this amount will be over $1 million, which is a powerful wealth creation machine. And so that eighth golden rule is, once you've made money, find ways to give back. And you're already giving back, you're already having an impact. But those are the 7 golden rules of investing. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it gave you a teaser of some of the content at Young Investor Society. And if there's any questions in the chat, I am happy to answer any questions. Or like I said previously, look me up on LinkedIn, and I'm happy to help however I can. Feel free to connect.
So I want to do a quick review of that, so you can see, if you can spotlight me, that you can see here are the 7 rules of investing. So make sure you get out a piece of paper, and you'll notice that they're very similar to what our 5 steps are with the wealth formula. We have the same formula. We're making the same cake. It's very similar to what we do. But step number 1 is think long term. You got to think long term, which is the wealth formula. Put money in every month times have it go up in value. That equals wealth. Number 2, good companies make good investments. Bad companies make bad investments. So find the good companies that are out there. Warren Buffett said, if we had to shut the whole stock market down for 10 years, he wouldn't care. In fact, he wants the stock to go down because he wants to buy more of it because he knows it's a great company. Number 3 is don't follow the herd. That's very, very important. We don't want to follow the herd. You want to be able to do some of your own thinking. Warren says that people are rational. A person is rational, but people, if you get a whole bunch of them together, they're just basically like sheep, and they're going to follow somebody else's. So that's why you've got to do some of your own thinking, and it's okay to think outside your box. One of the marketing rules that we teach is find out what everybody else is doing and then don't do it. Do something else. What do most people do? They make money, they put it on a credit card, and they get into financial debt and they never get it out. They never start an investment account. They never fund it. They never put money in long term. They're always worried about the short term and what's going to happen in the marketplace. We love chaos. We take advantage of chaos. Warren Buffett, there's a saying that says, never waste a good crisis. So, don't be afraid of the roller coaster. Remember, as we talk about the investments, the stock market is a roller coaster. Real estate is a kind of a roller coaster, but it keeps going up higher, and higher because of inflation. If you're really worried about stuff, just buy bonds, long-term treasury bonds. That is the merry-go-round. That's going to be solid, and it's just going to continue to go. But if you want to make a higher return, you got to get on the roller coaster, and it's okay. Roller coasters are fun. Now, as you get older, you may not like roller coasters, so just get off the roller coaster. That's okay too. Do your homework. This is so wonderful. And this is why we've created the foundation. And I'm so grateful for James for allowing us to put some of these wonderful courses up on our site. So go to the Success and Money site, go to courses, and then just pull that down to the personal finance. And there's some wonderful classes that he's got there. And I really highly recommend that you go to the Young Investor Society, and it's YIS.org. Wonderful organization. And I really, because that's the next step for many of you. We want you to be able to be successful. Okay. So definitely go to YIS.org and join that and be part of that. Do your homework. Huge piece. Invest in what you know. Warren Buffett calls that his area of competence. What's he good at? Find out what you're really good at and then really concentrate on that one area. I was just watching a video this morning on Kobe Bryant talking about Michael Jordan. And they says, don't do the fancy stuff. All these kids are learning the fancy stuff. Don't do the fancy stuff. Do the basics and do them consistently and do them extremely well. And that's how you win. You don't do it by trick shots. You do it by doing the basics and keep doing. Keep learning. I'm learning. You know, do I need to keep learning? No, I could be sitting on some island, you know, just contemplating, you know, or sitting on a cruise ship, but I'm not. I'm learning, and I'm learning from you, and I'm learning from James. Number seven, don't put all your eggs in one basket. That's why we talk about asset allocation, diversity, loan versus own. And then, of course, number eight is to find ways to give back. You're going to learn, earn, and return. And James, you work with a lot of very successful people that have made a lot of money.
Yeah.
Because one of the things that you do, not only are you the founder of this, but you're also you manage a lot of money for individuals. Is there some things that you've seen that is common with really successful people?
Yeah, that's a great question, Tom. Yeah, either my clients or my mentors or people I work with in the industry, I've been able to rub shoulders with a lot of very, very successful people. Yeah, I mean, there's very common traits. I would say the first one is they just are natural. They add value to those around them. So be that person that is just that giver of value. So you're in your job, you're just trying to add as much value as you can. In your friend group or in your professional network, you're just trying to add as much value as you can. In your church or community, you're just trying to add value. Those people that are working so hard to add value, rather than think what's in it for them, what can I give to this organization and how can I add as much value? That seems to be a very common trait to those very high achievers. Elon Musk is not like Elon Musk has pros and cons in his life, but when he got his payout from PayPal and he had I think $20 million, he could have thought, okay, what's in it for me now? Instead, he took that money the next day and put it all into, okay, how can I impact society and create electric vehicles and SpaceX and those businesses. So it was all about how can I create as much value in society rather than how can I have it for me. So it's that mentality. I'd say hard work is definitely part of it. So there's no shortcut to hard work, to hours in a day, to putting in your time, and to making it happen. The third, and Tom mentioned this as well, is they tend to be business owners. So highly successful people tend to be owners, or if they're not owners, they tend to work at a company but think like an owner, or think like, how do I maximize long-term value? So Tom mentioned start a business on the side, start something that you believe in. I started Young Investor Society on the side, and then I started Ethos Investment Management, my hedge fund, on the side. And now it's my full-time role, and we have great long-term investors. But when you own the equity in a business, or you own the idea, or you're part of that group of owners, or you just think like a business owner, that's when you tend to be highly successful in your career. So yeah, those are a couple that come to mind. I think that's a great question, and one that we can probably spend our whole lives thinking about what makes maybe the last one is just that first golden rule of investing. They think long term, so they're willing to make short-term sacrifices for the long-term good. People that have this long-term mentality tend to be much more successful, I'd say. So yeah, thank you, Tom, for those notes. But yeah, those I'd say would be some of the values.
Yeah, I just want to talk about a couple of these things. The reason that the business owners do so well over time is because they can scale. They can simplify, and they can really scale a project that they're doing, and that can really make a huge difference in what they're doing. Because if you just have a job and it's just you can do well, and that's okay, and you can make a lot of money. If you just do the 5 steps and consistently do it and do the wealth formula, which teach, is great. But most people are not making enough money at their job because inflation, the governments of the world can't pay their bills. So what do? They print more money. So
Yes.
you
Yeah.
can't just make it that way. You've got to invest in things that go up in value. And most business owners are investing in real estate as part of their business. I mean, I bought millions and millions of dollars worth of real estate, a huge part of our portfolio. But the big part is that if you can make something work, you can get your business to make you more money, because now it's just not you, it's other people that are scaling it. So that's why that is so important. Number 4, of course, think long term. We totally agree with that. Ride the roller coaster. It's a roller coaster, but the roller coaster is going to go up. The roller coaster is going to go down. And if you like riding the roller coaster, get on it. If you don't, just put it in some long-term stable bonds. That is the merry-go-round, and it goes around and it's going to get you a return. Your life is too short to be worried about stuff. So, money's a game and games are fun. Roller coaster is a game and games are fun if you like roller coasters. If you don't like roller coasters, get off. Get on the merry-go-round. Hard work, totally agree. Add value. Number 1, make more money. How do you make more money? You add value. I learned this from Tony Robbins. Add more value than the next guy. And you can add value by, doesn't have to be more of something. It can be added value. It could be an extra service. It could be something else that separates you from someone else. And the more value they add, then that's why they want to be able to use you, and you can make more money that way. And it's reciprocal. You'll notice that the people that give, get. The people who just go get, they don't make it. It's a spiritual law, and it's also a business law, that the people who give and help other people, naturally, you want to go hang out with those kind of people. That's how that all works. And your net worth is the average of the 10 friends that you hang out with. So if your net worth isn't where you want it, go hang out with some different people. Okay. So
your net worth is your network. I've heard it said that way as well. Your net worth is your network.
No, that's right. Okay, so that was wonderful for on that one. We're going to say goodbye to our friends from around the world, and then we're going to come right back. Thanks you guys for watching. And James, thank you so much. Go to yis.org. That's really crucial. And also go to the Success and Money, go to the courses in personal finance. There's about 10 classes on there. And if you go to YouTube, there's even more classes on there. We want to get you involved in all kinds of wonderful organizations and group. Follow James on I'm sure that you're on YouTube. You're probably on Facebook and a few other places. Just search him. This guy's everywhere. He's everywhere.
Yep.
So thanks for watching. We'll be right back, guys. Thanks for watching.